everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. मेरा नाम वाणी है and in this episode I want to share with all of you the books that I'm planning to pick up for the next 3 to 4 weeks. It is a collection of 6 books and I'd like to believe they're very diverse by different authors, but I think a majority of them have female writers, so it's very exciting. In case you like a book or in case a book really interests you, do let me know in the comments and I will very happily talk more about that book in the upcoming episodes as well. The first book that I'm reading is The Cost of Living by Deborah Levy, and I think it's no lie when I say I absolutely am in love with her. I discovered her through her book Things I Do Not Want to Know. It's the second book in a 3-part autobiographical series, and that was the perfect start to a series, right? I read the second book and this is the first book in that series, and it talks of her relationship, her divorce, and how she dealt with a lot of things and how she lived her life after that. While Things I Do Not Want to Know was a feminist reply to George Orwell's Why I Write, The Cost of Living is a reply to The Second Sex. The second book that I plan on picking up is Birthright by a Tamil writer called Vasanthi. Vasanthi is one of Tamil Nadu's best known writers with several novels and short stories to her credit. That's what the back cover says. I discovered it in a second-hand sale and I got it for 50 rupees. So I'm very excited about this. But Birthright is a short novel by Vasanthi, who's a Tamil writer, like I said. And it's about a woman who's a gynecologist and she runs her own clinic in a village. And she performs illegal abortions, especially female fetuses abortion, for women in her village. She's actually saving them the future of a cruel life. And while she's doing this, she also feels guilty, but she's also fighting to maintain her independence in front of her father and trying to prove herself enough and equal to her father, who's dying of old age. And this is one of the many reasons that I really want to read this book, because it talks about parenthood and finding your independence and your own world, and also moving your gender ahead. The third book that I'm planning to read is a yaakov, and it has a very graphic cover, so I'm a little scared about this. Did I get the right book? But what it read, its description was very interesting. It's set in Cold War, after the World War II, and it's set in Japan. And it talks about a family where one son, who was believed to be dead, is just returning home because he was a prisoner of war, and the Japanese government has negotiated and now he's coming back and to his own family, and the father is very happy. But the other son is actually bonding with the Reds, who are apparently, I believe, the enemy, I think. But it primarily shows you a Japan in the Cold War era, which is something I'm very excited to discover. And it's also a beautiful peach color, so most of the books that I'm picking up this month are in the same shade. The next book that I plan to read this month is Susan Sontag's Regarding the Pain of Others. In this essay, she also examines the uses and meaning of these images. She questions the nature of war, how it affects people, and how we use it for our own justification. And that's one reason why I want to read this book. The next book that I want to read is a book that I bought quite recently, and I did not even read what it was about until I got home, which is a very bad practice, but I just loved the cover. And its name is Sex and Lies by Leila Slimani, and the cover has 3 women, if you can see clearly. There are these 3 women, and 2 of them are very young and they seem to be of the young generation, and the third one seems to be very conservative, is old. And I just knew I had to get the book. When I came home, I realized it's a collection of essays, and Leila Slimani has sat down with a lot of women, interviewed them about the oppressive system and the philosophies and laws in Morocco, and she brings to you the ideas that bind women even after all these years. The 6th read is comparatively very light and a contrast to all the books, because every one was a shade of orange. This somehow is green in color. It's a children's encyclopedia actually. It has 100 questions and answers about ancient buildings, and the ancient architecture includes Egypt, Greece, Rome, Islamic and American Indian architecture, in architecture in the Eastern world, in the Western world, and so on. It also talks about castles and cathedrals, so I'm very excited to read this. I hope I'll know a lot more about architecture when I'm done with this. So these were the 6 books that I'm planning to read in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Hopefully I'll have a lot more to share with you in the next video. Do let me know what books excited you the most, and I will be so happy to share my thoughts with you. And before I go, I really want to tell you that if you like the work that we do support us on Patreon or join our YouTube community. It means a lot to us and it really helps us sustain ourselves. There are 3 different categories that we divide our patrons in: Godfathers, Gladiators, and Goodfellas. Godfathers are at the top and we treat them like literal godfathers. So do become a godfather. You'll get exclusive access to our WhatsApp groups that are dedicated to movies, books, and music. And you will also have access to our quizzes and streams. And we usually share the content that we put out for everyone. The big launches are always shared with godfathers first. So do become a godfather. Support us if you like our work. And keep watching, and do let me know the books that you are planning to read next.